Hi everyone, and welcome to St. Petersburg. This amazing city, sometimes called the Venice of the North, is full of history, art, and cool things to see. From big fancy palaces and churches to pretty canals and busy streets, St. Petersburg is super interesting for any traveler. In the next few videos, we'll go on a fun trip through this awesome Russian city. We'll learn about its past, see its amazing buildings, and find some secret cool spots. If you like art, history, or just want a cool adventure, St. Petersburg has something special for you. So pack your bags, get ready for adventure, and prepare to be amazed by how beautiful and grand St. Petersburg is. We'll visit famous museums, walk along fancy streets, and enjoy the special feeling of this city. Let's go! St. Petersburg has a storybook beginning. It all started in 1703 when Tsar Peter the Great, a really smart leader who loved Western Europe, decided to build a brand new capital city. He picked a swampy area by the Neva River because he wanted to connect Russia to the west. Imagine this, tons of workers, working hard in tough conditions, draining swamps, building foundations, and making Peter the Great's dream come true. Building St. Petersburg was a huge job, and it shows how ambitious the Tsar was and how tough the Russian people were. Over the next 200 years, St. Petersburg grew. Tsars and Tsarinas spent lots of money and used their artistic ideas to make the city beautiful, building fancy palaces, big churches, and grand avenues just as nice as other European capitals. It became a center of art and learning, attracting famous artists, writers, and musicians from all over Russia and other places. This is when famous landmarks like the Winter Palace, the Peter and Paul Fortress, and the Catherine Palace were built. Each one is a beautiful building and a symbol of Russia's power. St. Petersburg was becoming just what Peter the Great wanted, a strong symbol of Russia's importance in the world. Get ready to be amazed as we go into the Hermitage Museum, one of the best art museums in the whole world. It's in the beautiful Winter Palace where the Russian Tsars used to live. The Hermitage is a huge place with 6 buildings, each one more amazing than the last. Catherine the Great started the Hermitage in 1764 with just a few paintings. Now it has over 3 million pieces of art from different times and places. From ancient Egyptian stuff and old statues to famous paintings by Michelangelo, Leonardo da Vinci, Rembrandt, and Van Gogh, the Hermitage's collection is really amazing. Walking through the fancy halls of the Hermitage is an experience all its own. You'll be wowed by how big and grand the palace is. With its gold ceilings, marble stairs, and beautiful rooms, everywhere you look, you'll see another amazing piece of art. Even if you don't know a lot about art, you have to see the Hermitage. It's a place where you can easily spend hours looking at all the amazing art. Make sure to wear comfy shoes because you'll be doing a lot of walking. Now, let's talk about a really cool building, the Church of the Savior on Spilled Blood. You can't miss it, with its colorful onion domes that look like they're touching the sky. It looks like something from a fairy tale, kind of like St. Basil's in Moscow, but different. This amazing building was built on the exact spot where Tsar Alexander II was killed in 1881. That's why it has such a dramatic name. Inside, there are over 7,500 square meters of colorful mosaics. It's one of the biggest collections in the world. The detail is amazing, with pictures of Bible stories and people made of millions of tiny colored stones. Take your time to look at everything, the bright colors, and how big the artwork is. It shows how great Russian art is and how skilled the people who made it were. Whether you're religious or not, you should see the Church of the Savior on Spilled Blood if you visit St. Petersburg. When you go inside, you'll see tons of color and light. The inside is covered in mosaics, from the floor to the ceiling. It's an amazing display of religious art. Look for the pictures of saints, angels, and stories from the Bible. Notice the different kinds of stones used in the mosaics. It's not just colored glass, but also jasper, malachite, and lapis lazuli, making it look extra special. It's almost too much to take in. It's so beautiful. Remember, this isn't just a pretty building, it's a monument to Tsar Alexander II. When he was killed, it changed Russian history, and the church is a symbol of both the good things and the bad things from that time. Before you leave, light a candle in his memory, like the locals and other visitors do. It's a small thing you can do to connect with the history and the spirit of this special place. The Winter Palace, where the Russian Tsars used to live, is a huge reminder of Russia's powerful past. This big palace, painted mint green and white, is almost 800 feet long along the Neva River. Imagine the fancy parties they had here, with all the sparkly jewels and elegant dancing. Today, the Winter Palace is home to the Hermitage Museum, one of the best art museums in the world. But even if you don't love art, the palace is worth seeing just because it's so big and grand. Walk through the staterooms and imagine the Tsars who lived there. Look at the fancy decorations, the gold ceilings, and the beautiful wooden floors. It's like looking into a world of unbelievable riches and power. The Winter Palace isn't just a pretty building on the outside. It has one of the world's most important art collections inside, the Hermitage Museum. You'll need at least a whole day, maybe more, to see even a little bit of this huge collection. Inside, you'll find famous paintings by Leonardo da Vinci, Michelangelo, Rembrandt, and Van Gogh, to name a few. The collection has art from many different times and places, from ancient Egyptian artifacts to impressionist paintings. It's a collection from all over the world. Don't miss the most famous pieces, Da Vinci's Madonna Lita, Rembrandt's The Return of the Prodigal Son, and Michelangelo's Crouching Boy. But also look around and find your own favorites among all the amazing art. Remember, visiting the Hermitage isn't just about checking it off your list. It's about enjoying the world of art and seeing the power and beauty of what people can create. So take your time, walk around, get lost in the moment, and let the art talk to you. Now, let's go into the elegant world of Russian ballet and opera at the Mariinsky Theatre. This grand theatre has been in St. Petersburg for over 200 years and has hosted many world premieres and famous performers. From the moment you walk into the big lobby with its big staircase and sparkly chandeliers, you'll feel like you've traveled back in time. This is a place full of history where famous composers like Tchaikovsky and Stravinsky shared their music. Even if you're not a big opera or ballet fan, seeing a performance at the Mariinsky is something you won't forget. The amazing talent, the beautiful costumes, the soaring music, it's all incredible. Tickets can be hard to get, especially for popular shows, so book them early. And don't worry about dressing up too fancy. While nice clothes are good, it's not required. When the show starts, let yourself get lost in the magic of the performance. Whether it's a dramatic opera or a graceful ballet, you'll be amazed by the skill of the performers. During the break, walk around the elegant lobby, look at the portraits of past performers, and enjoy the atmosphere. This is a chance to meet other people who love art and feel the excitement of St. Petersburg's cultural scene. Going to the Mariinsky Theatre is like taking a trip into the heart of Russian culture, a chance to experience the passion and artistry that has made this country famous around the world. So, book your tickets, find your seats, and get ready to be enchanted. Visiting the Peter and Paul Fortress is like stepping back in time to when Tsar Peter the Great ruled. It's on Zayachi Island, right in the middle of the Neva River. Now, you might think, a fortress? Sounds kind of boring. But trust me, it's not boring at all. They started building it in 1703 to protect the city from the Swedes. St. Petersburg was a brand new city then, and Peter the Great wanted to keep it safe. The fortress has these huge star-shaped walls to protect it from cannon fire. Inside, there are a lot of interesting buildings, from the Grand Peter and Paul Cathedral to the Trubetskoy Bastion prison. Speaking of which, the Trubetskoy Bastion was not a fun place. This is where they kept political prisoners, including famous revolutionaries like Leon Trotsky and Fyodor Dostoevsky. Kinda spooky, right? The Peter and Paul Cathedral is really beautiful. It has a golden spire that goes over 400 feet into the air, making it one of the tallest buildings in St. Petersburg. Inside, you'll find the tombs of almost all the Russian emperors and empresses, from Peter the Great to Nicholas II. The inside is full of color and detail, with shiny icons, colorful mosaics, and fancy carvings. You could spend hours just walking around looking at everything. It reminds you of how grand and rich the Russian Empire was. After you see the cathedral, walk along the fortress walls. You'll get amazing views of the city and the Neva River. On a clear day, you can see for miles. So that's the Peter and Paul Fortress. It's a cool mix of history, beautiful buildings, and amazing views. It's something you should definitely see when you visit St. Petersburg. Next, we're going about 18 miles outside of St. Petersburg to Peterhof, sometimes called the Russian Versailles. And it's as amazing as people say. This big palace and garden is like something out of a fairy tale. Peter the Great had it built in the early 1700s to show off how powerful and rich his new empire was. He wanted a palace as grand as Versailles, and I think he did it. The Grand Palace is the main building at Peterhof, with its shiny gold domes and colorful walls. But the gardens are the best part. They're beautifully designed with fancy fountains, waterfalls, and perfectly cut grass. One of the coolest things is the Grand Cascade. Imagine a big gold statue of Samson fighting a lion, with water shooting out of its mouth and flowing down a bunch of steps and fountains. It's amazing. Peterhof has over 150 fountains. Each one is different and more elaborate than the last. There's the chessboard fountain, where water shoots up from a giant chessboard, and the pyramid fountain, with its 4 levels of flowing water. But the trick fountains are the most fun. Peter the Great loved to play jokes, and he had these fountains built to surprise people. You might be walking along a path when suddenly water shoots out from the bushes. Watch out for the umbrella fountain, which looks like a giant stone umbrella. If you stand under it, you'll get wet. It's all in good fun, and it makes the gardens even more magical. So take a break from the busy city and spend a day exploring Peterhof. It's a place where history, art, and nature come together for a really unforgettable experience. Hidden in the middle of St. Petersburg is a museum about the amazing art of Peter Carl Fabergé. You might know Fabergé for his famous Easter eggs, but there's so much more to see in this cool museum. The museum is in the Shuvalov Palace, a beautiful neoclassical building right on the Fontanka River. It's the perfect place to show off the intricate art that Fabergé and his workshop created. Of course, the main attraction is the collection of imperial Easter eggs. These aren't your normal Easter eggs. These are masterpieces made of gold, silver, precious stones, and colorful enamel. Each egg was a unique creation, often made for the Tsar to give as gifts to his family. They have hidden surprises inside, like tiny portraits, little golden ships, and even a working model of the Trans-Siberian Railway. But the Fabergé Museum isn't just about eggs. You'll also see lots of other Fabergé creations, from fancy picture frames and delicate jewelry to little animal figures and cigarette cases. Every piece shows the incredible skill and attention to detail that Fabergé and his workshop were famous for. They used all sorts of materials, from precious metals and gemstones to enamel, rock crystal, and even wood. One of my favorite pieces is the tiny replica of the imperial coronation coach. It's made of gold, silver, and diamonds, and it's so detailed you can even see the tiny velvet cushions inside. It shows how skilled the Fabergé craftsmen were. So, if you're looking for a really special and unforgettable museum in St. Petersburg, make sure to visit the Fabergé Museum. It's an amazing reminder of a time of luxury and artistry. Nevsky Prospekt is the heart and soul of St. Petersburg, a big avenue that's full of energy day and night. Imagine a wide, elegant street lined with big, beautiful buildings, their pastel colors shining in the afternoon sun. This is where the city's history, culture, and modern life all come together. As you walk along Nevsky Prospekt, you'll see so much going on. Street musicians play happy Russian folk music, and you'll hear people talking and tourists being amazed. Look around. Fancy stores have beautiful displays of chocolates, jewelry, and traditional Russian crafts. But Nevsky Prospekt is more than just a pretty street. It's a living reminder of the city's rich past, a place where history seems to whisper from every corner. As you walk down this grand avenue, you'll pass by famous literary landmarks like the Anichkov Bridge, which is in Dostoevsky's novels, and the Singer House, a beautiful building that used to be the offices of the Singer Sewing Machine Company. Take your time exploring Nevsky Prospekt. Go into cozy cafes for a cup of hot Russian tea or a shot of vodka. Look around historic bookstores, which smell like old paper and leather, and try to see a performance at the Mariinsky Theatre, one of Russia's oldest and most famous theatres. One of the best ways to enjoy Nevsky Prospekt is just to walk around and take it all in. Let the city guide you as you find hidden courtyards, cute shops and big squares. Make sure to stop at the Kazan Cathedral with its big columns that look like St. Peter's Square in Rome. Nevsky Prospekt has several big squares, each one different. There's Ostrovsky Square with the Pushkin Theatre, a popular place for locals and tourists to meet. And then there's Ploshchad Vostania with the big Moscow railway station, where you can take a train to other parts of Russia. As you explore, you'll see street vendors selling colorful souvenirs. Buy a traditional matryoshka doll, those cute nesting dolls, or maybe a hand-painted lacquer box with beautiful designs from Russian folklore. Nevsky Prospekt is full of things to see, hear, and smell, and you'll remember it long after you leave St. Petersburg. It's a place where history, culture, and modern life all mix together in a vibrant way that is both exciting and unforgettable. So, put on your walking shoes, grab your camera, and get ready to experience the heart of St. Petersburg. Okay, let's talk about food. St. Petersburg has food from all over the world, but you should try some real Russian food while you're here. For a good traditional meal, find a small, cozy stolovaya. These cafeteria-style places have home-cooked Russian food that's not too expensive. Don't worry if you can't read the menus. Just point and smile. Try classic dishes like borscht, a bright red beet soup served hot or cold, and beef stroganoff, a creamy dish served with smetana, which is Russian sour cream. And for a real taste of local food, get a piroshki, a baked or fried bun filled with meat, cabbage, or cheese. For drinks, you have to try kvass, a slightly fizzy bread drink that's really refreshing. And of course, you can't visit Russia without having a traditional vodka toast. Na zdorovye. That means to your health. For a fancier meal, Nevsky Prospekt has lots of elegant restaurants with both Russian and international food. But for a really special evening, try a dinner cruise along the canals. You can enjoy delicious food while seeing the city's lit-up landmarks. St. Petersburg is great for shopping, with everything from fancy stores to little souvenir stands. For luxury shopping, go to Gostiny Dvor, a historic department store in a beautiful 18th century building. You'll find everything there, from designer clothes to traditional Russian crafts. For unique souvenirs, go beyond Nevsky Prospekt and explore the city's smaller streets and markets. The Udelnaya flea market has lots of Soviet-era items, old samovars and vintage fur hats. Be ready to bargain. St. Petersburg is a great place to buy authentic Russian handicrafts. Look for beautifully painted matryoshka dolls, those cute nesting dolls, and intricately designed lacquer boxes with bright colors and pictures from Russian folklore. These make great gifts or a special treat for yourself. And don't forget to buy some food souvenirs to share the taste of Russia with your friends and family. Get some loose-leaf black tea, some tasty Russian honey, or a jar of cherry jam. Every time you eat or drink them, you'll remember your magical trip to St. Petersburg. Well, everyone, that's the end of our quick tour of St. Petersburg. From the amazing Hermitage to the busy Nevsky Prospekt, this city is beautiful and will leave you in awe. I hope this video makes you want to visit St. Petersburg. And remember, the best way to enjoy this enchanting city is to learn about its history, experience its culture, and enjoy every minute of your trip. Don't forget to like this video if you enjoyed it and subscribe to our channel for more exciting travel videos and tips. And as always, happy travels. Do svidania from St. Petersburg.